Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a joint protection of persons and property subcommittee / town council meeting. It's Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, 6 p.m. in the Veterans Meeting Room. Agenda item number 2, roll call. Councilor Provost.
Present.
Councilor Shenyer.
Present.
Councilor Ortiz. Present. I have a quorum. Agenda item number 3.
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
Before we start the meeting, I believe agenda item number 4 and 5 need to be reversed,
Okay.
as there was an error in putting it together.
Okay.
So I'll make that into a motion to reverse it.
Okay.
So 5 would be 4 and 4 would be 5.
Perfect.
Second it.
So we have a second. All those in favor? Alright, back to number 3. Review and discuss accepting the FY26 Municipal Road Safety Program Award of $26,000 and authorize the town manager to sign all related documents. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend to town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Town manager?
I'm going to defer to the chief for details.
Chief?
If I could, through you, Mr. Chair, this is just the governor's highway safety grant. We've gotten it for more than 20 years now. Speeding enforcement, different mobilizations, clicking a ticket, seatbelt violations, cell phone violations, crosswalk pedestrian violations, that type of thing. And this is from now through July. So it carries through most of the summer.
Perfect. Any questions? No? All those in favor?
Thank you.
Motion passes. You're welcome. Agenda item number 4. No, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it as well. Review and discuss the town manager appointment of Ryan Morton of Spencer, Mass. as a full-time firefighter for the town of Southbridge, based upon the fire chief's recommendation upon successful completion of rehiring paperwork. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend to town council for confirmation.
So moved.
Second.
Town manager?
And I'm going to defer to the chief here for
Perfect. Chief?
So great, thank you everybody, thank you Mr. Chairman in regards to this. Over the past week or so, I've been in contact with former firefighter paramedic Ryan Morton, who resigned in November of 2024 to work for the city of Providence. After speaking with him about his desire to return and after discussions with the town manager and the HR director, we agreed that rehiring was the best course of action. While working as a full-time person in Providence and part-time at the Massachusetts Fire Academy, he reflected on this time here and realized that leaving Southbridge was potentially a mistake. Mr. Morton served over 5 years, which is actually 8 years, had a strong attendance record and was a dependable member of the department. He continues to reside in Spencer and is eager to return. If all intended purposes align, after providing appropriate notice to his current employer, he could be back on the streets of Southbridge by around November 1st, roughly. I recommend his reappointment as firefighter pending the town council's approval.
Just silent that, George.
Is that your brother?
Do we have any questions? George?
I've known Ryan since we first came into town here, and I always put him up as a, good firefighter. And he was conscious about his relationship with the members, that he was there, and I fully support the appointment tonight.
Okay. Councilor Dow?
Thank you, Chair, through you. I got a question. What make you come back to Southbridge? Because we're hearing a lot of firefighters saying a lot of things about the town, the way we do business, or the way we run our towns, the way we get paid. What make you come back? Is really Southbridge mean something to you? You think Southbridge is a good town to work for, or just it's a place to just stop by and continue?
Chair, through you, Council's a great question. And I think in order to answer that question, I want to answer another question, kind of why I left. I had an opportunity to pursue a big city job, and that was one thing that attracted me to Southbridge to begin with, was the type of calls. And councils often compare us to larger cities, and that was one thing that originally attracted me here. When I had the opportunity to go to a larger city, I quickly realized that I missed what I considered home. I may have never grown up in this community. I never lived in this community, but in the 8 years that I spent here, I made it my second home. I always participated in community activities, flower sales, Autumn Fest, when we got the new town manager, all those things. And honestly, I think I got a little homesick because I made this place my home. Mixed with that, and then the culture of the fire department itself, and all these guys that are here tonight, makes me want to come back.
Thank you. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Welcome back home. I'm gonna support that because the speech you said, and hopefully you don't leave again. Thank you for coming back.
I'm here to stay. Thank you, Council.
Councilor Provost?
I'd like to say thank you for coming back, and I appreciate what you said,
Thank
and
you.
I support this.
Thank you very much.
I take it from his wife that he's not gonna allow him to leave.
In that case, I'll support it.
Any more questions or comments? Not, all those in favor? Perfect. Congrats, thank you. Agenda item number 5. Review and discuss the town manager's appointment of Brendan Hill of Watertown, Massachusetts, as a full-time firefighter for the town of Southbridge, based upon the fire chief's recommendation, upon successful completion of medical and physical testing, including passing state physical assessment test, PAT, background checks, and state ethics training. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend to town council for confirmation.
So moved.
Second.
Chief?
So I'm going to give you a little description of what we've done for several years to make this all happen. This is the same hiring process we've used successfully for the past several years. It begins with a peer review where members of our administration and our firefighters conduct interviews to evaluate how candidates answer questions, carry themselves, and communicate under pressure. The second phase includes skills stations, which one of them is an EMS scenario to assess a patient care, properly treat the patient with the right protocol, and then obviously there is a session where there's a fire station, a fire equipment station to get each applicant's knowledge, confidence, and ability to perform under stress in both of those situations. The top performers from all of these 3 sessions advance to a final interview with the town manager, who Manager Jovan was here before he had his surgery, nor the Director of Human Resources, Deputy Chief Hewlick, and myself. Each candidate is asked the same set of questions, scored independently, and then the results are tallied for fairness and consistency. This cycle began with 21 applicants a few months back. 16 advanced to interviews, 8 to skills evaluations, which I just described, and 5 to the final interview process. The remaining qualified candidates that went through the final interview will be placed on the department's future hiring list if need be. This page. It is my recommendation that we offer an appointment to Brendan Hill as a full-time firefighter with the Southbridge Fire. Mr. Hill currently resides in Watertown, Massachusetts. As we know, many of our applicants come from out of town. However, Mr. Hill has been very clear and agreeable about relocating to Southbridge. During the interview process, he expressed his intent to move here, and I followed up with him again afterwards to confirm that commitment before making an offer for tonight's meeting. Throughout the interview, Mr. Hill conducted himself professionally, spoke clearly, and displayed a community-minded attitude, qualities which are essential for serving the public. He is active in his church community, serving as a Eucharistic minister, and has expressed a genuine desire to become part of Southbridge. Mr. Hill holds a bachelor's degree in business management with a minor in marketing from Quinnipiac. He obtained his basic EMT certification in 2024 and is currently employed full-time with Armstrong Ambulance. Additionally, he has been accepted into the paramedic training program at Pro EMS, which begins on January of 2026. While Mr. Hill has limited fire experience, his exposure to the fire service through his current EMT role has provided valuable insight into emergency fire operations. He has taken the initiative to learn about the Southbridge Fire Department, demonstrating a clear understanding of our fast-paced fire and EMS environment and genuine enthusiasm about being part of our team. Upon completion of his paramedic certification, which is a 9-month program, he will be enrolled in the Career Recruit Fire Training Program as the next step in his professional development. Based on his professionalism, education, and commitment to both the community and continued learning, I recommend Mr. Brendan Hill for a full-time firefighter.
Thank you, Chief. How many people applied for the position?
21.
Any of them closer to town?
There were some closer, one in Connecticut, that was right on the border, but nobody from Southbridge. A couple people from Leicester and Auburn, but they did not do very well in the process.
Okay. Any?
If we hire him, when's his start date gonna be?
That would depend on his employment, that he has to give his notice to his employment, and also the process of continuing with the HR stuff, physical, psychological exam, PAT.
And then he's still gonna go to paramedic school in January, you said?
Yes.
So in that whole time, he's not gonna be able to go to the fire academy?
No. No, I'm expecting with what we know in past taking on employees, the process of taking on a new employee takes probably about 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Scheduling, doing the council meeting next week if he gets approved, scheduling his physical, doing his PAT, giving his notice when he does get the final results in that he's gonna be, able to take the job.
How long's the normal, time when we hire a firefighter before they go to the academy? Because obviously he's not gonna be going for all, probably till August of next year.
That is correct.
Good.
So generally it depends. We've hired employees in the past that were either in paramedic school or starting paramedic school,
Yeah.
which is almost 90% of our job volume here. So we'd like to get them to finish their paramedic school and then go to fire training school after that. We actually had 2 guys a couple of years ago. They were in paramedic school. They had a break in May. I sent them to fire training school in June and July, and they finished like at the beginning of August, and then went back to paramedic school in the beginning of the year. So
Nice.
we try to tighten up that window according to when academy classes are available and when they finish school
Finish school.
or they have a break.
One more thing, so if we hire him, he cannot fight fires until he's firefighter 1 and 2
That
certified,
is
right?
correct.
And
Councilor Shatner?
It's not the first where we've gone to school and then gone to the academy. It's not the first time that this has happened.
No, it's actually happened several times.
Right, so even if it's a year from now, we've had that in the past where they've gone to the academy well into almost a year or more.
That is correct. And I can tell you that when that does occur, they do get their probation extended past that
That was-
1
that-
year that we have automatically. And
That
that's
was-
happened
That was
also.
my next question. Maybe to Mr. Hill?
And he's,
oh, he's right there. Jeez.
sorry, I forgot to say, he is here for any other further
At what
questions.
point in time do you anticipate moving into the area?
Yeah, absolutely. So before the meeting, I actually toured the Rosemead apartment complex. And so they have a unit available right now that I can move into. And the other unit that's available is November 4th. So any time truthfully between now and November 4th, I'd love to move here.
So your start date would be, your moving here will be before your start date?
I'd be comfortable with that. Obviously, like the
Okay.
chief had highlighted, I'd have to contact HR and work with them and go through that whole process. But through the interview process, it's been emphasized that living here is extremely important, and I understand that and value that. So I'd be more than willing to move here prior to accepting.
Good.
Why Southbridge?
As the chief had highlighted, and I highlighted in both my interviews, the community here is incredible. 2 stories that I again highlighted and I'll reference here tonight. One is the woman in your community that holds a Thanksgiving dinner every year at a local church. I think is incredible. You don't get that everywhere. Truthfully, you don't have members of the community, especially around the holidays, going out of their way to help those in need. The other story that stuck out to me was the most recent 7-alarm fire, where several family members or families from your town were displaced, and one note on social media sparked like this incredible community coming together. Whether people were donating clothes or food, you just don't get that everywhere. People looking out for one another, and coming from Watertown and the neighboring town of Belmont, both of maybe around 20,000 people, you get the same feel. And to come across a community that's like that, it's just incredible, and I'd love the opportunity to work here.
Councilor Dow?
Thank you, through the chief. All these candidates apply, any of them already firefighter? Already, any of them firefighter?
So there were, through the chair, there were a few candidates that came through with their call, volunteer, firefighter 1, 2. But in this case, it doesn't matter, because we send all of our employees to the career fire
So
department.
none of them was complete firefighters, they all have to go to training, correct?
They would still have to continue to go to the,
Either the person from Connecticut, everyone?
Yep.
They all?
all of them.
Thank you.
Council Shen?
Council form of government is tough. Sometimes we say things like myself. At the last council meeting, I was outspoken and directed my feelings towards the firefighters for stuff that was done on Facebook. And I apologize to them for doing that. I truly understand the needs, and how we get to those needs can be a difficult thing sometimes. But I hope that you would be prepared to see us council in action. We try to do what's best for the community in itself, and I hope you're ready for that type of government. I like reading about your background a little bit. I think it's a good fit for the fire station. I think you'll do well.
Thank you, sir, I appreciate it.
Council Dow?
Chair, I have a recommendation, I don't know if we can do that, I'm not sure, going out there. Can we postpone that hiring to when he moves to town? I'm not sure,
It's only a month away.
not making a decision on it before moving to town.
I'm not sure.
I understand where Councilor Dow's is coming from this, but this will prolong him even further if we can get a guarantee right now that if he's going to council and get approved, we can start on the process of doing medical and background and all those things. It will just delay it. I take it from his word, but it's totally up how you guys want to handle that.
I say move forward with what we brought forward tonight. I mean, I trust the gentleman's word. It's 6 weeks away, roughly, in November. I mean, might even be here before that. And if he doesn't come when he says he is, or something happens, we just pull back the appointment. It will be the first time that we've done that, but I think the delay, we ran into that before, and I don't think it's good.
All right. Well, we'll keep it on tonight. Not gonna postpone it. All those in favor? Congrats.
Good luck, guys.
Agenda item number 6, review and discuss acceptance of a donation of $50 from Gilbert Smalley, and allow the chief of fire to use it at their discretion. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council to accept the donation.
So moved.
Second. Almost forgot.
Town manager?
I'm gonna, again, defer to the chief.
Chief?
Obviously, these are donations that we receive very randomly. I'd like to see if we could have this approved and accepted by subcommittee and move on to full council for the discretion for the department.
Any questions? No, all those in favor? Passes. Agenda item number 7, review and discuss fire department transfer request for $6,000 from account number 001-220-53-0000, specialized services to account number 001-220-524-200, data processing to cover the costs of data processing services for the fiscal year. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Town manager?
Sure. So this is something that was already budgeted, just under the wrong account line. So we're just correcting that.
No? Any questions? No, all those in favor? Agenda number 8, review and discuss fire department transfer request for $20,476 from fund number 0842 capital stabilization to account number 400-220-5853-00-64220 fire communication capital to cover the costs of emergency replacement of public safety microwave link Elm Street to Blackmail Road Towers. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Town manager?
I'll defer to the chief on the,
Chief?
putting together all the infrastructure, radio infrastructure and the console at the police station and making everything work. Obviously, some of our equipment is newer, some of it's a lot older, and this falls into the really old, 15-year-old category. So this microwave link goes from the Elm Street Tower behind the fire station to the Blackmare Road site, which is two of our main points of access into both the police and the fire system. So we recently had a diagnostic inspection revealing that the microwave system, that's what I'm talking about, the link that goes in between those two towers, is no longer serviceable. The original manufacturer is out of business, the software components have exceeded their life expectancy, and the aging link has been identified as likely will cause some severe recurring problems that we're currently experiencing some slightly right now. And basically this is kind of an emergency repair because we want to get our system back up and running like it should be. We have some dead spots in the areas of the town because it's being affected by this link. We're having some, what the guys in the back will tell you, bonking out issues where you key up the microphone and you're not getting through to the dispatcher because this link it needs to be replaced. So there was in your packet, I believe, a follow-up letter from our DNR Communications, who is our vendor, one of our two vendors for the radio equipment, and he kind of basically says the same exact thing, that this is not serviceable and we need to replace it. And then there is a quote on the back, which from that vendor, and he's got most of the parts and pieces to go. We're just waiting for me to give him the okay. Town manager identified, let's see the transfer on this one. What account? Capital account? Capital stabilization account to take the money out of and put it into an account so we can pay him for these services.
Any questions? Not all those in favor? Agenda item number 9, review and discuss the placement of the Southbridge firebox alarm horn at the new fire station. Chief?
I'd really, to start this one, this chair went way too low. I'd like to hear what you guys have in regards to this. I understand there's some, historical background and things like that in regards to this, and this traditional way of making things happen and sounding in Southbridge, which I support. But so the deputy and I both put together some information. So here's a memo sheet. There's a memo that a 2-page memo, but I actually, just for speaking purposes, I know Mr. Lazo doesn't like me speaking so much, but there's some highlighted information behind it. So historical background, the fire station horn was installed in the 1950s as part of the town's municipal fire alarm system. Originally used to alert off-duty firefighters, civil defense, and community notifications, like school closings and parking bans. The system relied on a large compressor, 2 large compressors and air tanks occupying 200 square foot plus in the old fire station. Updating to the modern communication methods, over the last several years, technology has advanced beyond horns alerts. The town now uses Everbridge, which we pay almost $6,000 a year for emergency notifications, and people can sign up for phone, text, and email. It also provides faster, targeted, and reliable communication to residents. The system's retained in current use. The dispatch consolidation with the police department and the fire department 5 years ago made relocation costs prohibitive. At that time, it was over $300,000. That was to move the municipal fire alarm box system from the fire station to the police station so they could monitor that at all times. We didn't have enough money. There was not enough money appropriated to make that happen. So, as you know, the multiple municipal fire alarm boxes were taken out of service. There was no issues with companies or businesses or even areas of businesses upgrading their current fire alarm systems to do the automatic dialing. But the horn was kept in place. The last municipal fire alarm system was retired in February of 2020, which that was the last time we used the box alarms, which sounded the horn. Now the horn now serves ceremonial purposes, Monday tests, 9/11 events, major incidents when we have those. The recommendation, I know this is not what you're going to say, but I always have a solution. The recommendation is let's not relocate the current horn system to the new station. The system no longer supports operational needs, but looking at how we can move forward to get a town-wide alerting system to be something more traditional. We could spread out. I know there's a pole on South Street, the AO property. I don't think Chip will allow us to put anything over there, but I put together on the back page a 6 site warning or alert system to do the things that you guys are talking about in regards to, you know, traditional, let's have the horn, but the startup cost for that is anywhere between, so I did a little Google searching and a little calculating. Startup cost for 6 sites would be about $75,000 to about $100,000, you know, and then on top of that, $10,000 for equipment management, connectivity, and maintenance annually. You know, in the next steps, I think if you want to keep this process going, let's engage a qualified vendor to evaluate coverage, confirm sites, and finalize cost projections. And you know, recognize that this is a conceptual plan pending engineering and budgeting. You know, it may be more than that, the monies that I had just mentioned right now. You know, and the historic part of this is that, you know, Southbridge heritage is there, but it's not practical for our use. But I'm giving you a solution, and I think the solution would work. There's a little bit more in that memo that we put in regards to the space at the current fire station. It's those big air tanks, the pictures that you see there. There is no space to find room in there because we have storage areas, we have electrical areas. The deputy has pointed out in the full memo, the electrical needs for a system like that is beyond what's in the project already. So there would be cost added to that to do a change order to make that all happen. But you know, let's have a conversation and see where we're going with this. You know, it's where we're at.
Questions, Councilor Shenyer?
This system that we're probably looking at here, between $100,000, is that all electric versus air?
Yes, it's electric.
Is it a horn versus a air raid siren?
I think you can get anything you want nowadays.
Okay.
So I don't know the answer to that, but I'm pretty sure it's a horn or a siren, whatever you'd like. And it would be scattered all around town. And it is electric, but it also will, because of redundancy, there's a battery backup that will be attached to it, and that's part of the maintenance, the yearly maintenance fees to make sure that the batteries are charged. So it's just not like wiring something together and hopefully it works. This is actually a system that's designed, well, not the system I put together. I'm not a designer, I'm not an engineer, but someone would have to do that to make this work. Did that answer your question?
And so a while back you came to council for the fire alarm wires, that we were gonna take them down. There's a substantial value to those wires that are on the pole. Couldn't those wires come down and utilize it towards a system?
The current wires, there's a lot of breaks where there's been wires taken down all over town. So there's no continuous loop anymore, like you remember. There's no more continuous loop. So, yeah, we could take down the rest of the wires. What we do currently right now is that when the wire falls down, that's when we go out and take it. Because the cost, it's overtime I have to give the guys, the fire alarm guy to come in and do it, and you need 2 guys because of OSHA, you have to have a guy on the ground. So we only fix repairs when there's something dangling down and take those down. So the cost that we gave for that, do you remember, was it like $3,000 for the wire?
That was what our annual allocation was, but as far as what it would take to take the entire, take everything down, it would be a shot in the dark at an estimate.
Because isn't there's substantial value with that because it's solid copper. There's some copper clad out there too.
Correct.
I think the last time we went to Excel and traded in, it was about $3,000. That's what I was thinking. It was about $3,000. There was quite a bit stored behind the fire station. We took it all and brought it there, and it was about $3,000. So if we could continue to do that, that's still it's a piece of money that could be moving forward towards a newer system, something that's reliable and will work.
I think there's an importance of mass notification. I mean, none of the surrounding towns, I think the closest one probably would be Webster. I don't even know if their alarm system works anymore. But notifying the citizens that, you know, we're not a rich community. Do we take $100,000 and put a fire horn in versus $100,000 putting somebody on a job? I mean, that's the hard thing. Maybe somebody's willing to go make a donation out there to be able to do that and continue with that type of tradition. It used to be a nightly notification to change from nights to noontime, and then it's once a week. And everybody knew that there's a fire in the middle of the night when they hear the alarm, and I don't doubt that that alarm saved some people's lives at some point in time too, by it going on. But whatever the council's wishes are, I will support.
Chairman Lazo.
If we could circle back to the main question, a lot of people in town, for building this wonderful fire department, want the alarm in the new tower. And they brought it up, and this is what spurred this discussion. My suggestion would be to get a price to put a new horn in that tower at our new fire station. And if you need help with it, we can, we'll work with you on it. But, we can talk about why, we can talk about, you don't even know what the thing's gonna cost. Let's find out a cost analysis to put exactly what the townspeople want. I'm all done with these little committees, building big buildings and making all the decisions. The people want their horn. If they want their horn, that's their business. So I sat there and said, I'll bring it up. I talked to the chairman said, let's have a conversation, okay? So we need to look at it before everything is completed. And nobody's gonna tell me that you can't do it. I'm tired of the can't do it bit, okay? Because this is a building that we're building. Yeah, there are changes. There are more changes on a building from start to stop, and we absorb them and we move them. I was chairman of the school building committee. It was a much bigger building than your building. So for myself, we put a lot of different things in that as the town wanted things in the building. So if you can't acclimate, we can get some people on that committee to acclimate, to look at it and to move forward on it and find out, is it feasible? Let the council decide that. Thank you.
Councilor Dow.
Chair, to you, thank you. Chief, if there's any disaster, we don't have any more signal on the phone, how do we notify the citizen we're in dangerous? How do we notify? We depend on the technology on the phone.
Correct.
Let's say if we get attacked and the signal go away, what do we do? On your experience?
So it's a perfect example in regards to when we had the COVID pandemic. We actually made out announcements and we put things up, broadcast over the cable TV channel. We pushed out Facebook messages. We did all of those things. And I know they're electronic. It would come to the point where the police department would be driving around and we would be driving around saying, this is what's going on over our PA system, just like they did in the 50s.
So
and in
if
the
we have a
60s.
flood in 1955 happen again in Southbridge, I hope not, but
Oh,
you
me
think
too.
the cruiser can go through that flood and tell the people, hey, climb to the floor because flood is coming?
I think they'd be able to use their loud horn or their speaker, their PA, and hit as many people as they can.
So, another question, we're spending $1,000 in a department, we can't either add a horn on the top of it, there's no place on it, like I mean, I don't understand why you did the homework on 5 locations, different towns, costing us a lot of money, not doing the homework on the police station and the fire department, example, because those actually the public safety. Why we went that far is we don't do the main public safety building. And a reasonable, I'm not saying, that you have to spend $1 million, but I think there's a way with the technology now, like you say, backup batteries and using a horn to notify our citizens if there's any emergency or any disaster happen. I don't think it's right to depend on the technology all the time, because someday, we all know that one day, someday it's gonna be like out or something happen. What do we do after that?
I will say in regards to the current equipment that's at the fire station, I don't think that's feasible. It's one of the tanks have already been declared as a bad situation.
I agree, I'm not talking about this, if we can
So-
move them, it's fine, but some new technology we can put it on the fire department. I mean, either if we have to take 2 exercise machine from the gym and build a wall, put the equipment there for the alarms, I think there's a lot of spaces for the gym and the kitchen there. I mean, what are we doing, fire department working, or I mean, I understand you guys wanna be comfortable, and we support that, we approve $30 million fire department, but I don't believe we can't find a place or build a room on the top of the roof for the horn. I mean, I don't believe that. I'm in the construction business, and I don't, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it. There's no place for it, or we cannot make a place for it. We'll have to spend $100,000 to run a wire when we're still in the same position as we can't notify our citizen if it's disaster happen in town. So, you know, why we don't look something added, like a room or something small on above the department, and put the equipment or the batteries there, whatever, and put the horn on that tower, the small tower there.
I will say, I was gonna defer to Deputy Hewitt, because he had the conversation with the program director, project manager, and the engineer too, but I'll let you, what he found out about the building, the new building.
Through the chair, to answer your question, and I guess I would pose a question to you as well. And to follow up with Chairman Lazo's comment. For a cost, just about anything can be done. What do you see that notification providing for the community? How does that noise alert the community?
When I live here 28 years, when a horn, usually at 6 o'clock, and if the horn come up more in 3, I believe, should be third alarm fires. If it's disasters, we never have that when I live here, so it could be like people in that horns a lot, telling the residents, hey, is something coming or something going on, like every other poor countries, like every other different state, they still have that stuff. I mean, we're running after the technology, but one day we're gonna be stopped somewhere and the technology is gonna say, you know what, take it. You're not gonna depend on us no more. It's something, someday is gonna say no signal, or the tower, something hit it, and we're in a big problem here. What do we do? How are we gonna tell the people we have a tornado or a disaster or anything coming?
So the messages that were put out with the horn were a numeric code and a location in the community. How is that going to alert people to those other things? The only other things that were made for notifications were no school and parking bans. And in my 27-year career, when those notifications were made, people would call the fire station and say, why was that? What was that? So the notifications were made to alert firefighters that lived in a community 70 years ago, when we didn't have portable radios, when we didn't have pagers. It was a method to notify all of the firefighters who lived in the community. Most communities, including our own, have a significant number of firefighters living in other communities, and we have advanced in technology and become dependent on other means of communicating to let our firefighters know that we have an incident that we need to return them for. So as far as alerting the public with that notification, all it's going to be is a noise.
Chairman Lazo.
I think that's in your opinion. I see it a different way.
I do understand everything you're saying about the new wave of communication and everything. And a lot of times firefighters, live out of town, they won't hear the noise. That's not my point. I understood what it was used for years ago, and I thought it had a purpose. What I'm trying to say is we have the public out there, the people, are talking about their fire station, their tradition, their history, and they're saying, why don't we put a disaster horn on the fire station? And I said, I don't know, I'm not on the building committee, but I'll bring it forward and we'll discuss it. The only thing that I'm saying is that give the council the opportunity and the public. We know everybody's well-trained in their profession. But the thing is, the tradition of Southbridge, some people like to hold on to it. Some really don't damn care about it. And I get that, two different trains of thought. But there's a thing on the council right now that's serving the public in what they ask for. If we don't say, we don't hear everything that comes forward. Then we take a thrashing on the internet or in the paper, whatever. When it comes forward, we bring it forward. And you can debate it, and I'm not disagreeing with everything you're saying. But what I'm saying is, if it's, depending on the cost of it, we should put the horn Now, if they came up with something with more technology to it, say it was an electric horn, and you don't have compressor tanks, I get it. The size of those compressor tanks, we have horns now that run out of an air can that are pretty loud. So, for me, I'm not gonna be afraid of the boogeyman again. Let's work on it, let's find out, is it feasible for us to do this? Or, ooh, we don't need it, it's too expensive, it's $1 million. Come on, guys. We are Southbridge, we like our horn, and we want it on our new fire department if it's feasible. Let's look at it, it's not gonna hurt anything. If it goes electronically, you can add to the electrical panel, it's a small cost. If we have to do some elaborate horn, then I got a problem. But what I'm saying is, be open to Southbridge public. They're the ones that bring this stuff up. I didn't bring the horn up. I brought it to the council because that's my job. I just think that we should, and I do agree with you. These gentlemen are not gonna answer that horn, okay? And I do know it was a numerical, because everybody in the house had the thing, the chart behind the door to figure out where the fire was. Those days are gone. But those are the days that people don't wanna let go of. If it's a disaster horn and it rings only in certain instances, if the cost is feasible, let the council decide that. That's what we do. And if it's too expensive and it's elaborate, we're not gonna do it. But have a little bit of heart for the public. They paid $30 million for a building, and there's a handful of people that turn around and, you're gonna put the horn back over there. Now, I know what that horn looks like, and I already saw these compressor tanks. So I'm not sure you can put that in the tower, but what's wrong with researching it? And I know that you have a project manager and you have people to deal with. I've done this at the school. We accommodated the public to the best of our ability. This is one of those public accommodations that we should look at. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I just want everyone to be aware that there will be a cost for coming up with a cost.
Absolutely.
So where is that to come from?
You're telling me that in your project manager, I had a project manager in high school. Every time we came up with a small civic idea for the school that the public wanted, they were very accommodating. They didn't charge us for the information. They do charge us if we make the run on the, whatever the thing was. So for us, moving forward, check with if they have the heart after 30 million that they can't help out on one thing that the public's asking for. That's all I'm saying. If they turn around and say, oh, it's gonna be $50,000 and scare the thing off. If you're really into this building, let's get into this building on some of the tradition. Removing the fire engine, the Tiger, from the council chamber, is very important to get that away from the town hall and to get it to that fire station, where it belongs. Why? Why we build extra space for a dinosaur machine? Because it's our tradition. It's part of who we are. We want that on display in that fire department. We want to show everybody else that this is who we are. The horn is the same thing. I mean, I realize the horn sometimes can scare the hell out of you, but it's something they're requesting and it's something we're gonna bring forward.
Councilor Shannon?
I don't think the system, today's system is as technical as the one you have at the station now. You've got the tanks, you've got the compressor, you got the horn on the roof. It was attached to the AO. We used to send guys down there to crank the horn up. I don't know, Joe, if you were here for that back in the day, but we would have to crank the horn up at the AO so one went off, the other one went off. I don't think we're talking a system like you have in the station now. Just some kind of activation, a horn activation that, I like the idea of going to 5 locations, to be honest with you, because when I was in Oklahoma for the tornadoes with Red Cross, thank God for those activations. I mean, we don't have those kind of things here, hopefully we never see, but, I don't think it's as elaborate, and I can't see why, again, put more on you guys to do, why you guys can't do that as part of your function. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I know we keep adding stuff onto you guys and we don't give you nothing in return, but.
Chief.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
You know, let us go back to the drawing board and speak to the committee, and we can talk to Rick Pomeroy and see where we're at with regards to costs. I don't know if we're gonna get a firm answer, but obviously we can.
Invite me to the meeting, I'd love to be there.
You've met him,
Thank you, yeah, very good outfit.
so that's all I really have to say.
Any more
We
discussion?
don't try, right?
Right. We good? Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Agenda item number 10, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.